Alright guys, it's been a while since I've had a formal update here. Decided to push the car outside. It's been a very nice day. I was going to wash it, but decided against it. I had a bunch of other things to get done. But the front end is on, kinda, sorta, for the most part. I still have to put this other fender on, but where I had connected the fuel lines right here to the rubber line, let me zoom in. The rubber line, I flared the fuel lines, and it's still not quite sealing. I even double clamped it, so I'm definitely gonna try and take care of that before I stick the fender back on. It'll just be easier. But there's a compression fitting you can get that you can convert to a barb fitting. So it's metal line, compression fitting, barb fitting, and then you can shove your hose onto whatever size and then it'll seal up real nice. But since the last time, the crossover merge pipe has been wrapped. I decided to keep the oil drain for the turbo in the same location. It actually has worked out. I just went and bought some more braided line. It is a downhill slope the whole way, and it rests on the radiator hose on the bottom. The intercooler piping has been hooked up. Downpipe was made previously. I got it wrapped up and put an oxygen sensor, welded an oxygen sensor bung on there for my wideband. Then I'm going to run a screamer pipe out the fender. But the intercooler piping is done. I also ran my coolant lines into the factory location. Something that will need addressed, these two holes that hold the manifold to the head don't line up to the head holes. You can actually see it right there. Focus, focus, focus. You can see there at the very top of the flange, that's the hole in the head. And it does not match at all with the manifold. So I'll probably have to U-cut and use washers and stuff. Let's see what else. Oh, the alternator bracket is on. These spacers were made out of aluminum. They were 1.5 inches, and they space it out perfect to get the alternator pulley-in line here with everything else. And then I just used the stock truck tensioner over here. As far as this upper plug, I'm not sure which ones of these I have to hook up yet. One's labeled F and one's L. I'm guessing one's for light and one's for the regulator, voltage regulator in there. And then obviously power. But here's my ground. Both heads are grounded with 2 gauge now. I was having grounding issues. This side, the hardware is in to hold the manifolds on. It's very nice, great stuff, eBay. I still have to tighten up my EGR block off plate here. That's easy enough. The radiator hose was made using pieces of the original upper or the original lower hose and my Fox Mustang upper hose. And all I did was I went to Lowe's and bought some of the drain pipe or plumbing pipe, which is this stuff here. And you just grind this, or you can cut this lip off or grind it down and it falls off. And you can cut this stuff however you want. So right down there I used a rubber section, and then I cut it real nice and close so I could clear my intercooler pipe and then section it together. And then there's a piece of the factory hose, and then I just coupled it together again with a piece of the metal plumbing pipe and right up in. And then I did the same thing on the top. I used the factory Ford hose but I needed to section and rotate it so it would fit. So I just used a piece of this right here in the center, straight piece, and clamped it on, so that's nice and solid. But I'm having issues with Megasquirt currently. It looks like my U5 chip or my voltage regulator is not actually regulating voltage. Looks like it got hot and melted my nylon bolt and nut, and the bolt and nut melted off, and the both voltage on incoming and outgoing on the regulator is showing 7.4 volts with a 9 volt supply. It's supposed to be a 5 volt regulator. So I'm going to check that out, fix it. I already ordered the parts from DigiKey. But the turbo is mounted. It's kind of tricky getting the flange bolts in with it right up against the frame and the housing. But it all works. So I'm really not that far away. The goal was to make power tour with the car this year, but it's just not going to happen. I still need to pick up a transmission. I have decided to go with the Turbo 400 for street use. And I have to get a drive shaft made up or shortened. I might see if I can use my Ford one here, shorten it, change the U-joint and yoke. I also discovered that I had lost the trunk key to this car, so I had to pop out the lock cylinder. I'm going to put another one in, but got everything out of the back here. My swinging lock mechanism here. Battery is going to go right there. Probably run like 1 gauge or so. Giant battery cable up through here. And have all my junk in there. So once I get my voltage regulator in the mail from DigiKey, I'll get that soldered in and make sure that the board's still good. I really hope it didn't fry the U1. I guess that's the B&G 40-pin chip. That's gonna suck if it did, but hey, you know. The car was running, and then I had changed the pulse width on the injectors, and I may have keyed off before it was done writing to the ECU or to the Megasquirt, and powered back on, and then that's when I was getting the injectors clicking. Pulled it out, plugged in the stem. You can see in the other videos they click in they flash in the same manner that the injectors were clicking. Hopefully that's what the problem is a voltage regulator. But I'll try and get another video here shortly. I'm going to try and fix these fuel lines up for good, and then get this fender back together. Probably start prepping body for paint. Not sure exactly what I'm going to do with that yet. But there she sits. And I'll talk to you guys later.